Welcome back! I promised buff last episode, we have buff now. Of course, I was also talking about how we don't have anchor arms in this game for some reason. I still wish that was a thing. It was almost a thing in Bikini Bottom, for those of you that weren't already aware. In Bikini Bottom, the final boss was supposed to have an extra phase, apparently, which did have anchor arms. They have the models and animations for it. Oops. In the game's data, but it's not used in any way. It was cool. You get to see. There are a few videos of it on YouTube. Grow, or rather, stretch, because that's how vines work. Yeah. Do plants need to be watered in the Spongebob universe? I mean, they're already underwater. I feel like you see Squidward watering his plants at some point, don't you? In fact, doesn't Spongebob at one point mention watering some garden of his at some point? Which is when he stubbed his toe and only cried for, I think it was 5 minutes. Salty Spittoon. Another thing that I still think would make sense to appear. Salty Spittoon. And the Salty Spittoon thing kind of appeared in this game, and in the console version. It's just that you didn't go inside a Salty Spittoon or anything. I don't think you... Did you even see a Salty Spittoon? I don't remember. I saw Weenie Hut Juniors at least. But... for some reason, despite seeming like a good place to fight things, and of course Spongebob did just run it and immediately just slip on Ice Cube. And we never saw the inside of it in the game, I guess. There's another issue. Ah. So they don't really have anything to base the design off of. It seems to be like a pretty decent idea for something. Because again, it has to do with like toughness and very potentially fighting things. You could easily turn it into fighting things, which is generally what video games try to involve in some way, as shoehorned as it can be for licensed media like SpongeBob. Okay though, how do you not? Squidward. Plankton, are you actually gonna acknowledge stuff this time? Squidward? Like it's right there, I keep saying Squidward. Plankton, yes, thank you. He's very, very picky about actually giving things to you like that. Why is there a campfire? Isn't it daytime? Yeah. Who's doing the whole campfire thing? Have any reason to bother that guy? I don't believe I do. This is concerning. Because I have a bad history with these. I need to switch between... My right hand needs to move constantly between the controller... Let's get into the goo so we have extra health, actually. Between the controller and my trackpad. Both of which are, I don't know, like half a meter apart at most times. Happy. Okay. This guy's rapid fire, man. Okay. I'm guessing that Spongebob cannot climb in this state. I would like to see, though. Similarly, he probably can't hang on to ropes. Am I missing something though? Have you ever seen ropes that you can hang on to like that before? Sure. It'd be really weird if they just randomly now introduced it in like the second last level. Or second set of levels, I guess. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know what it is with them just sticking enemies in places where there's not really a reason to do anything with them. And not that, whoa, not that I really want every enemy that seems to be required to fight or anything like that, because I get tired of fighting them. But at the same time, I think that's something that a lot of games, that some games have trouble with sometimes actually justifying having a reason to fight things. I mean, in this game you get happiness points from enemies, but never really enough for it to matter, I don't feel like. And the big ones, I guess. It also helps that the big ones are just easier to fight. For the small ones, you have to put in time and effort to actually fight them, and then you get virtually no reward, as you just get a single happiness point for it. Want to do more of the same enemy? I'd love that. Yes, thank you. Easy enemy the entire time. Perfect. I do understand why Kelp Forest pops up so much in the games, though, at least. It's another hostile environment that makes sense to spend a lot of time going through. Oh, hey, here's this thing again. I want to see the buff animation. Look at that, it's basically the same animation, but still, it's buff now. And Sandy presumably can do the same thing. Yeah. Exciting. Although I feel like, part of it is when fighting enemies isn't fun, that also causes problems. But if you don't have a reason to fight enemies, it's easier to get tired of fighting them. Like, that's one thing that works well in the favor of games with like experience systems and whatnot, I suppose. And like loot drops from different enemies. There's a wall here. Why is there a wall here? Since when am I not allowed to fall into stuff like that? I suspected that enemies would pop up when we fight here, but apparently not. But that gives you a reason to fight enemies, because even if there's just a little chance it might give you something nice, that's something to work with. But of course in this type of game, this bare bones platform like this, there's not really experience or drops like that of that nature. But I have played so many other games where it does feel more rewarding. Well, I guess because in Bikini Bottom you do have, for example, in Bikini Bottom, the sort of movie game, you do have more reason to fight enemies because you have more stuff to spend manliness points and shiny objects on, like a variety of things. Because in this game, for one, it also just doesn't matter whether you have happiness points at almost any point or not, which is part of the issue, I think. The currency doesn't really matter to me because I don't really want anything currency gives you. Because it gives you pictures that I don't really have interest in. Or it can give you... Oh. It can give you pictures I don't really have interest in, for example. Or I can give you mini games that I can already play regardless. And what else did it give me? Music for the sound test? Okay. Like stuff I don't have interest in. Or stuff I don't feel like I have any reason to actually want to buy. Whereas it was required to progress in Bikini Bottom. Or at least was one way to progress, because you could access new areas with it, with shiny objects, and buy golden spatulas with it. And then in the movie game, you could of course... it would be good to save that for later if I want to get buff 5 sooner, because I'm probably going to lose buff in here, but oh well. But in the movie game, you use them for upgrade points, and upgrades were cool. In fact, really, really hard to go without late game. And I keep forgetting the central movie game that's as hard as it did later on. I want to someday actually try to... I'll have to fight things here. Great. I can catch on to that somehow. Great. Do we really need to just throw this thing at me at once, though? Like, the timing thing doesn't really work this way. If they all have different timings and can all parry me if I hit it the wrong timing, then it doesn't really work trying to time my attacks against any of them. Although at this point I'm just mashing the attack button. That's working just as well. Yeah, sure, I guess. But the upgrades are also fun and cool to have. They felt rewarding to get. Whereas this game isn't like that. Also, it was also just that fighting was more enjoyable in that game too, because it was just easy to run up to something and attack it. Things tended to be defeated in entertaining ways, because of the way they bounced around and whatnot in both games, for example. Not that I'm exactly looking towards a Spongebob game in most cases as an example of how to make a game right, although Bikini Bottom was a pretty nice game regardless. Do I really have to fight it in here though? Why would you do this? Because I have to constantly jump as I attack. How about this? Does not work. Okay. Aha! Range attacks. Okay. Like, if only you could actually help me out in combat in some capacity. Was this one hibernation? Or was this also in the karate episode, Volcano Sauce? I honestly don't remember. That was one of those weird gags that I kind of forgot about entirely. In SpongeBob, the volcano sauce with the face. Not the sauce with the face. Well, yeah, the little sauce itself, not the actual bottle. I tried. I also managed to clip through things. It's one of those games, though, where it doesn't make much physical sense, where you just step forwards. And the... that was a little weird. Just leans in the way you're standing on it, as opposed to it moving the opposite direction as you walk on it. So what makes more sense would be having to walk backwards to get it to the direction you're trying to get to go in. Because of physical principles I won't care to bore you with. But it's weird how different games have different takes on that same physical idea, and you never know which one to expect. Okay, we're done here, I believe. Well, at least these guys, as time-consuming as they are to get rid of, they're a little easy to get rid of, so I don't mind fighting them in most cases. Of course, Bikini Bottom and the movie game also had combos and whatnot you could do by knocking enemies into things and into each other. That would be more entertaining and give you more points in return to spend on stuff. Finding things are just so empty in this game. Maybe it's trying to make a point. Pacifist Bob. Anyways. We're just about the end of the episode, but not there just yet. I wasn't where we were looking for the best karate place ever. Oh yeah, that's one thing I think would serve this game really well. Intros to the levels. Not like, I know they like say, oh hey, remember that time? Before you go into each of the levels. But I mean like justification for why we are where we are in the levels, because those tend to have nothing to do with the actual scenario that's put forth before entering the level, as I've mentioned many, many times. More Kelp Forest. It's a nice pretty place outdoors though. I not that it wasn't outdoors before, but it's open. I wouldn't mind seeing more Kelp Forest with this kind of aesthetic. It's rather pretty sometimes, actually. I liked it a lot in, oh, is it Nipponi's Unite for the DS of all things? Oh, come on. Hi. You can play that game. Not very quickly, but we can. Oh hey, there's that plane in the background. The plane that presumably dropped the boxes and whatnot to fulfill the magic conscious prophecy. Go away. Come on, man. This does not do enough damage. Oh wait, why are you hitting the guy that I'm not aiming at? Stop that, Spongebob. What's your deal? Okay. Now then, there's a button. How does one reach such a button? Yeah, though, whenever I think Kelp Forest, I usually, despite what it was like in the show, it was more like this in the show actually, but despite what it was like in the show, I tend to think of it as being at nighttime and all that because of what it was like in Bikini Bottom. I guess that was actually, though, a weird misrepresentation of the Kelp Forest in certain ways. It being at night, and there also being kelp caves that I don't think ever appeared in the show. Bikini Bottom definitely took its own liberties. I just tend not to notice them because I kind of internalized the game, so I get more credit than it probably deserves in some ways for being true to the show. But it also is true to the show in other ways. But I'm not here to talk about that game. Mostly I'm here to talk about this game. But I'll talk about this game next time because we're out of time for this episode. So I'll see you guys next time. Next episode, let's play Truth or Square for the DS. We're gonna fight things? I think we're gonna fight things. Well, maybe not. Bye guys. Oh, boats.